So friends, how many search warrants were obtained and executed in connection with the investigation of Donald Trump's documents, obstruction of justice, and espionage crimes? 2, 4, 6? How about 8? That's right, 8. Let's talk about that, because justice matters. Hey all, Glenn Kirshner here. So friends, based on a newly unsealed court filing, we just learned that it wasn't just one search warrant. You remember the one that was executed at Donald Trump's Florida home, Mar-a-Lago. It wasn't just one search warrant that was issued by a federal judge in connection with the investigation into Donald Trump's documents crimes. No, it was 8 search warrants. Here is the new reporting from NBC News. Headline: 8 search warrants issued in Trump classified documents case. New filings show. And that article begins, 8 search warrants and affidavits were filed in connection with a federal case involving former President Donald Trump's mishandling of classified documents that resulted in a slew of criminal charges against him, according to recently unsealed court motions. Prosecutors filed a motion in June with the federal court overseeing the case, requesting permission to disclose the warrants and accompanying documents to the legal teams representing Trump and his aide and co-conspirator/co-defendant, Walt Nauta, as part of disclosure requirements now that both men have been charged. In that motion, which was unsealed on Tuesday, prosecutors said they have not disclosed the contents or locations or devices sought by those search warrants publicly, and they asked the court to keep the details of those warrants under wraps. The existence of one of those warrants was already known because it was executed on Trump's estate. And by estate, of course, they mean his third-rate resort down in Florida, Mar-a-Lago. That's my editorial comment there. On Trump's estate last year, and Trump, announced that it had happened on his social media website. The indictment in the case also made clear that prosecutors had obtained other information, including photos and messages off of cell phones, but the prosecution did not indicate how it had obtained that information, whether voluntarily or through warrants. The 7 other search warrants don't necessarily mean the FBI agents and the Justice Department officials searched 7 other physical locations. And here's the paragraph that I want to focus on, friends. The additional search warrants could have been for storage facilities, other parts of the Mar-a-Lago property, phones, tablets, computers, databases, or digital accounts. So friends, first of all, let's try to take on the obvious question. 8 search warrants. We know about one. We know that one was executed at Mar-a-Lago, Donald Trump's home in Florida. And how is it that we came to know that the FBI searched Mar-a-Lago? That they got a search warrant? That a judge found probable cause that crimes had been committed and there would be evidence of those crimes at Donald Trump's home in Florida? Turns out there was lots of evidence of Donald Trump's crimes at Mar-a-Lago. We know about that because Donald Trump told us about it. That's how we learned about the fact that the FBI had searched Mar-a-Lago. So, of these other 7 search warrants, if one had been executed at Bedminster, Donald Trump's golf club in New Jersey, or Trump Tower, Donald Trump's home, his property in New York, don't you think Donald Trump would have talked about it, posted about it, yelled about it, screamed about it, lied about it? Of course he would have. So I think we can reasonably infer that Bedminster wasn't searched. It wasn't one of those 7 other search warrants. Trump Tower wasn't searched. Could prove at the end of the day that they were searched, but it seems unlikely Donald Trump would have been able to keep his big orange pie hole shut if the FBI searched Bedminster, Trump Tower, or any of Donald Trump's other properties. So let's circle back to that one paragraph that I think gives us some insight into the answer to the question, what were these other 7 search warrants all about? The additional search warrants could have been for storage facilities, other parts of Mar-a-Lago property, phones, tablets, computers, databases, or digital accounts. So here's the thing, friends. We get search warrants for property, for a home, for an apartment, for a garage, for a storage facility, for a car, for a boat. But we also get search warrants for lots of other stuff. So for example, if when they were searching Mar-a-Lago, they seized cell phones that were authorized to be seized as part of the search warrant, they seized laptop computers. Then often what happens is the federal agents, the prosecutors, will put together a supplemental application for another search warrant to search the cell phone, to search the computer. Or if cell phones, computers were seized from other people at Mar-a-Lago, or other people as part of the investigation into Donald Trump's crimes, well, those were seized pursuant to a search and seizure warrant, so that might account for some of the other 7 search warrants. If we want to search somebody's social media account, we will often do it via a search warrant. So there are lots of reasons and lots of opportunities to obtain search warrants that don't involve searching property, homes, businesses. So if I had to bet a buck, you've probably heard me say before, I am not a gambling man. I am not a high roller. $1 is my betting limit. I would bet a buck that none of these other 7 search warrants involved Bedminster, Trump Tower, or some other property owned by Donald Trump. I have a feeling we will learn it was perhaps searches of property belonging to others, and those others, unlike Donald Trump, didn't run their mouths about their property being searched, but it could be cell phones, computers, social media accounts, etc. I have a feeling we will be learning more in the coming days, the coming weeks, the coming months about the nature of these other 7 search warrants, but for now we're going to be left to sort of continue to puzzle through this as the Trump documents, obstruction of justice, and espionage case continues to move toward trial. Of course, unfortunately, that trial will not begin until May, if it even begins in May, if Trump-appointed Judge Aileen Cannon doesn't push it even farther down the road. But I do think that the Florida case is soon to be eclipsed by the January 6th indictment that we are expecting almost any day now. You know, we are on Donald Trump indictment watch, and once that indictment drops in Washington, D.C., I have a feeling we're going to be a little bit less focused on and consumed by the Florida case and way more interested in the ins and outs of the federal prosecution that begins in earnest the day Donald Trump is indicted for all things January 6th. So friends, we will stay on top of this, and you know why we'll stay on top of this. Because justice matters. Friends, as always, please stay safe, please stay tuned, and I look forward to talking with you all again tomorrow.